Welcome back to another BizBite episode of the eCommerce Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. Right now in the lounge, we're working on our yearly review and planning for the quarter ahead. As the members were going through their numbers, the number one question I got was, should I combine my numbers for e-commerce, Etsy, wholesale in person, or should I look at them separately? And considering this was the case for the majority of the members on our workshop call, I'm pretty confident you might be wondering the same thing. The answer? You want to do both. You want to look at your business as a whole, but you also want to look at each channel separately. To illustrate this with a brick and mortar example, when someone has a chain of brick and mortar stores, 99% of the time, each store is technically its own business. Legally speaking, it's usually an LLC. Each store has to support itself. It has to make enough revenue to cover all of its own expenses and turn a profit. The only time this isn't necessarily true is bigger brands who have stores in super visible areas. As long as it's not losing money, and sometimes even if it is, it's worth it for the store to exist there purely for branding and visibility. Think New York City, Santa Monica, and LA. Those kind of big shopping districts. Your business is the same way. While it's important to look at the big picture because that's essentially how you figure out how much money you made, it's also important to break it down. Just like I tell you to break down your traffic by marketing source and conversion by traffic source, you want to look at each channel individually to figure out which ones are contributing to your bottom line, which ones might not be worth your time, and which ones you may want to put more effort into. The other reason you'll want to look at these separately is that the levers you pull to hit your goals are going to be different depending on the channel you're talking about. For instance, when you're talking about improving the conversion on your website, you might look to revamp your homepage or update your product descriptions. That will certainly help your e-commerce results, but it's not going to do much for your in-person sales. On the other hand, something like being more consistent on social media or in email, or starting a direct mail campaign has the power to support all of your channels. If you're not really sure how to look at your numbers and the growth levers that you have to improve them, check out episode 93. I walk you through all of it and I'll stick a link in the show notes. Now, of course, you can't optimize all the things at the same time. So how do you choose where to focus your energy first? It depends, but typically you're going to want to either prioritize the one that drives your business or the one you want to improve. That basically makes no sense, right? I know. Okay, let's break this down. If your business as a whole is doing good, you're paying yourself a decent salary, you're getting to enjoy your life a little bit, and you have a main driver of your business that's doing really well. Yeah, of course, there's always room for improvement, but essentially, if you did nothing different, you'd be fine. In that case, you might want to focus on one of those channels you want to improve. On the other hand, maybe you're not quite making as much money as you need to. You're a little stressed out, things are feeling heavy. That's when you focus on the main driver. Don't try and start something new because you think it's going to be some Hail Mary for your business. That's rarely the case. Double down on what is already working and improve that. And then when you're in a comfortable place, you can go work on something else. And one more note to throw a wrench in all of this logic because every business and product is different. Sometimes the driver isn't a sales channel, it's a product. So maybe that thing that's going to get you unstressed is actually expanding to another sales channel like a marketplace or doing wholesale, but with that main driver of a product. There are no hard and fast rules. Believe me, I wish there were. If this is where you're at right now, and you wish you had a little bit of help to decide what is the right option for your particular business and you want my help figuring it out, I have 2 easy ways that you can get my brain on your business. 1, come join the lounge. It is evergreen. Doors are open and they're staying open. The price is going up at the end of the month. So if you want to lock in today's rates, just come in and join us. You've got nothing to lose because we do have a 7-day refund policy. The second option is to book a strategy call with me. These are one-off calls where we brainstorm about your business and your best next steps. You pre-submit stuff to me, so I do all of my brainstorming ahead of time. So that 60 minutes is actually us making plans for you. They're pretty damn powerful. I'll put links in the show notes for both of those ways to work with me. Don't forget to check out episode 93 that I mentioned earlier, where I walk you through how to figure out all the numbers and what the right growth levers for you are and which ones affect which KPIs. So at least that way, when you do sit down to make these decisions, they're backed by actual data. And that's a wrap on today's BizBite episode. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today, and I'll see you on the flip side, friend.